Welcome to Save As Ability, a podcast to educate and inform you about disability employment issues. My name is David Darkangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Save As Ability. We've been getting a great reaction. Please help us continue to keep great content flowing for you. Like, subscribe, share. And today we have a guest. We're going to get right to him. Dr. Kirk Adams. Welcome, Dr. Kirk.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Kirk and I first met several years ago in the blindness community when I was commissioner of Mass Commission for the Blind, and Kirk was the president and CEO of the American Foundation for the Blind?
Yes.
AFB. Yeah. So I'll let you get into that. So with that, Kirk, welcome. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Okay, a little bit. I am a totally blind person, have been since I was 5 years old when my retinas detached when I was in kindergarten. And what kids did in those days, I went to a school for blind kids in the state of Oregon for first, second, and third grade and learned to read and write Braille and travel with a cane and love myself and my body as a blind person, and learned how to type on a typewriter so I could go to public school, which I did starting in fourth grade. Went all the way through, was the only blind student in all of my schools, even through my PhD, and was in banking and finance for 10 years, pivoted to the nonprofit sector, wanted to be in leadership, wanted to help create opportunities for other people who are blind. So through a winding path, became the CEO of the Lighthouse for the Blind here in Seattle, Washington. Was invited to join the American Foundation for the Blind board, and AFB is the most historic blindness organization, was Helen Keller's organization. So was honored to step into that role. It was clearly a financial turnaround situation, and I'm proud of helping put AFB in position for their second century. Moved to New York City, moved to Washington, D.C., and then back home where I belong here in Seattle. For the past 2 years, managing director of my consulting practice, Innovative Impact LLC, and I help companies supercharge their bottom line through including people with disabilities in their workforce. And I'm an advisor to and a shareholder in 3 different startups that are all using technology to create a more inclusive world for people with disabilities. So I'm just having fun, working on, I say, fun, innovative, high-impact projects with people I like. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, thank you for being here. And you're certainly a luminary in the field of disability, not just blindness, but blindness as well. And, it's just like you mentioned, you were one of the only students you came across as somebody who was blind throughout your education, similar for me. And so can you tell us a little bit about what it's like trying to be the only one, trying to break barriers and, blaze new trails, particularly when people like, who do you look to as peers? That's one of the things I experience all the time. So maybe you can tell everybody a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I heard someone say the other day they're trying to become the person they needed when they were a child but they didn't have. And so I think thinking about that, if I'm trying to become the person that a blind child needs in their life that I didn't have when I was a child, we were very not connected to the disability world, blindness world. My family lived in small rural towns in the Pacific Northwest. My parents were 25 years old when I became blind. They had never met a blind person in their lives before I woke up with my retinas detached. And we were not connected. So I did not have any role models, really, after I left the school for the blind after third grade. And I tell people today who are blind or family with blind kids, with the tools we have today and the interconnectedness we have, you do not have to do this alone. You can find someone who's already walked this path, who's figured some of these things out. And an example I have is when I was in high school, Snohomish High School, north of Seattle, and there was kind of a group of us college-bound kids, and in my senior year, I went into first period math analysis and second period physics, and then migrated with the group to third period chemistry, and the chemistry teacher said, no, this is a safety issue. You cannot take chemistry. You're going to need to go to the office and get a different class. And I went home and told my parents, and they were teachers, and they said, well, if Mr. So-and-so says you can't take chemistry, then I guess you're not taking chemistry. So I did not know how to advocate for myself at 18. My parents didn't understand the possibilities for people who are blind. I went to the office and was assigned a study hall, and so I read trashy novels in Braille in the library third period my senior year. And now, in my roles at AFB and the Lighthouse, I've met blind chemists. Hobie Wedler stands out. He has a PhD in chemistry. He's a wine expert, an oenophile. I've met blind people who teach chemistry at a university level. So now I know what I was told was not true.
Yeah.
But I did not have the tools. No one taught me how to be an advocate. And I just tell now, find community. You have search engines. Put a couple search words in there, and you can find people and resources and folks that will be your allies and can share their wisdom.
Well, I think that is good wisdom right there. And, it's true. Unless we see somebody modeling it, there's a barrier there of, well, wait a minute, am I going to be able to do this? Like, because maybe there is a real reason or a good reason, a legitimate reason of why you shouldn't be doing something, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I have an impairment, which is I can't see, but sometimes I'm in disabling conditions and sometimes I'm not. So my example I use, if I'm running a board meeting and I have my agenda in Braille and my financial statements and my board committees in Braille, I am not in a disabling situation because I'm blind. I can run that meeting just as well as anyone else. If I walk in and you hand me a stack of print, I'm in a disabling condition. I'm in a position where my impairment does not allow me to have an effective fit with the built environment, which is that print. So, we're in social environments, we're in physical environments, we're in digital environments. And, sometimes there's not a good fit. Sometimes you can make it fit by either adapting yourself or adapting the environment or both. And sometimes it's just not going to fit. I'm not going to drive a vehicle.
Well, on that, let's extrapolate a little bit out now to employment and focus in on if you had to tell a young Kirk Adams or John Smith out there somewhere in Middletown, America, one or two keys to employment success, what would those be?
Yeah, and I'm going to give an example right now. So I'm involved in a program to train and prepare blind individuals to be cybersecurity analysts and enter the cybersecurity industry. The website for the program it's called the APEX program, www.theapexprogram.com.
We'll be sure to put that in the description.
Wonderful. And my advice would be to find someone who has your disability who is doing what you want to do. And I'll tell you, 95% of the occupations you can think of, someone somewhere is doing that, and you can find them, and they will be so pleased and honored and enthusiastic if you reach out to them and say, hi, I've always wanted to be an auto mechanic, and I just saw in my search on the internet that you are a blind auto mechanic. Could I get on a call with you for half an hour? Or
I promise we didn't rehearse this, Dr. Kirk, but I got to tell you.
Okay.
So I grew up on Otis Street in Melrose, and right across the street from me was a guy named Dave who was legally blind, just like me, two legally blind Daves on the same street.
Yeah.
He became an auto mechanic, and he has his garage right down the street from my office.
There you go. Right. Or I want to be a horticulturalist, or I want to own a travel agency, or I want to open a restaurant. Call Christine
whatever
Haw
it is. There's somebody doing it.
There's someone doing it. Find them.
I agree, and that's sage
them.
advice, Dr. Kirk. So, all right, as we begin to conclude here, because you know how pithy our episodes here are on Save as Ability, tell people where they can get in touch with you and the things you're involved with so we can make sure we promote the access to opportunities that I know you and I agree on.
LinkedIn, I'm on every day. I've been for 16 years. I build a lot of my network around LinkedIn, so please find me there. It's Kirk Adams, PhD. And I have a website for my consulting business, which is innovativeimpact.consulting. And you can reach me either of those ways. I love to talk with you. I will give you an informational interview if you want one. Just reach out and ask.
Excellent. Any final closing words here, Dr. Kirk?
Never give up. Don't take no for an answer. You need to learn how to self-advocate. There are tools and ways to do it. You don't have to figure it out yourself. Learn from the masters who've paved the path that you're trying to follow.
Well, you heard it from the living master, Dr. Kirk Adams. Pleasure having you. Thanks so much for joining us here on Save Visibility.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And for everybody listening and watching, we appreciate you. Keep those comments coming. We're building our channel here. Again, if you could help us out with a like, a subscribe, a share, and we want to keep great content flowing for you. We had a great guest here. Thank you again, Kirk Adams.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time on Save Visibility. It's David D'Arcangelo. I hope you have a great day. For more information about disability employment issues, please visit our website, disabilityemploymentsolutions.com. The Save As Ability podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our YouTube channel at Disability Policy Expert, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment. Save As Ability lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. #TheNewRadio. Again, my name is David D'Arcangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Until next time, thank you. I hope you have a great day.